Hello everyone and welcome back to the Knit Crochet Read Repeat podcast channel. My name is Kirby, my pronouns are they, them. Now I'm coming to you from a very grey, slightly dreich Paisley, which is just a stone's throw away from Glasgow in Scotland. Today's episode or video is all the whips I have brought into 2026. Now, they could have been from 2025, most likely from 2024 or earlier. So, the point of this video is to go through what I've got, decide, am I going to keep going? Is it getting frogged? Who knows? I have even found things just from digging out all of these projects that I thought I'd lost. One of them is my jeweler's scales to weigh some of the yarn, because I really want to find out for certain how much yarn a square in my Coziest Memories blanket takes. So really glad I found these. I was literally about to buy a brand new set off of Amazon, which is annoying because I'm trying not to buy things off of Amazon. So as you'll have seen from the intro, I literally chucked everything onto the sofa. And apologies for the change in angle. I thought I'd got a good angle, and then when I started piling things up and up and up, I realised it was not a good angle at all. And that my stuff took up way more space than I thought it did. So, with that said, I'm just going to jump in. None of these are in order, but at the end or the second part of this video, in the one video, I am going to stop recording for a bit, sit back and write down some notes. I'm going to prioritize some of these projects, and hopefully these will go from whips to finished objects very quickly. So again, nothing is in any particular order. It's just what comes to my hand first. They are to my side, but eventually I will need to reach over and I'll probably get very close to the camera. So first off is a cross stitch project. This is my only cross stitch project. I don't seem to be monogamous when it comes to knitting or crochet, but apparently when it comes to cross stitch I am very monogamous. So this is the Smut Reader cross stitch, and this is by Cross Stitch with Art, which is on Etsy, and this is what it will look like. And I have been working on this year. I have a before photo, but that was after a couple of stitches, so I'll insert that screen, like side by side screen. So on this side, actually I don't know what side it's going to come up, the editing software decides, but you'll see it on its own compared to me holding it up. So screen by screen or side by side, there's the before, and now this is what it's looking like. In the before photo, the moon is complete, but it actually wasn't when I picked this up. I just forgot to take a photo before I started working. So all of this here is brand new. I think that one's new. This one is new. No. That one is. All the red, all the black, and the green. That's all. And that one. That's new as well. So I actually really enjoyed picking this back up. I forgot how much I thoroughly enjoyed cross stitch. I think I keep forgetting because I work on it so little. I'm just going to chuck these on the floor. I don't really have anywhere else. Next one I'm not going to chuck on the floor. Oh, is this going to cause an avalanche? This may cause an avalanche. The next one has been receiving a lot of love. Where's my other needle? Is it going to like fall out somewhere? Oh no, it's in the bowl. The next one has been receiving a lot of love since my Monday vlog that just went out there on Thursday, and that is my Coziest Memories blanket. Nope, hold it that way. I'm on my last square that I wanted to get done this week. I am in the middle of a square. I'd actually say I'm past the middle of this square. And I was going to try and get it finished last night, and then Scott's just like, no, come on, bed. Like, it's getting late, go to bed. So I need to get that finished today. And then this is going to remain a weekly project, as I discussed on my Monday vlog. So, Coziest Memories blanket, this is for sure going to get worked on it this year. This is not a frogging project at all. And I'm definitely not going to throw this down. I'm just going to place it on the floor. I'm also going to take a sip of tea. I made a big mug of tea for this. Oh, still too hot. Okay. I'm going to take away the avalanche option. I'm going to tilt this one because this is the secret project and it doesn't give too much away because I would like it to remain a secret project. I have this big container and then this is what it looks like inside. There's a lot of minis in there. There's a lot of scraps. And then there's the secret project. So this is going to get work done on it. It's just one of those pick up, put in some progress, put it down again projects, unfortunately. This does live on my sofa. Oh, I just found a bunch of things. That was part of my yarn advent. I wondered where those went to. So I got a bell stitch marker, a light bulb, like a light. Let's see if I can stop the jingling. A light, and then this really cute little polar bear. It's not going to focus, is it? There we go. So yeah, that I need to attach into a bag. Maybe not the bell, that might annoy me. But let's take those out of that bag. So yeah, this is going to be a remain project. Just like I say, it's pick up and put in some work when I can. I don't know why I just have this random bag of minis in here. These definitely were not part of my cataloguing stash. Neither were any of these minis. So these are all balled up, held double 4-ply minis. And then I've got some in here that are like cakes, and all of the ones here have been used in my Coziest Memories blanket, but I reckon there will be put back into the Coziest Memories blanket at some point. I will not have enough minis for the Coziest Memories blanket to complete it. So I reckon I will end up doubling up on some of the colours, and that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. And it's mostly going to be like my solids and my tonals that I will definitely be doubling up on. I have way more variegated mini skeins than I do solids or tonals. So for sure those will get used at least 2, if not even 3 times in the Coziest Memories blanket. So I'm not going to throw this one either. This is a big one. Okay, we'll move on to one that probably has been forgotten, rightfully, and that is the Aria cardigan. And this is a granny square but on a different bias. So everyone's used to the squares being square, whereas these are like more diamond. I'll show you the back, that might be better. And what needs done in this is all the ends, basically every single end still needs done. And I then need to do, so with the area, you have the majority of the cardigan is crochet, but the cuffs, the button band and the collar and the waist are all knitted. And I have the yarn for it. I just haven't picked it up to put those aspects onto this cardigan. So this is still a work in progress, but hopefully not for long, because I'm sorry, isn't that not just the funnest like collection of colours? It's just so bright and fun. Okay, we'll go this one. Oh no, I picked up two. The next one is the Alaska hat. This is a hat for my mum, or it's meant to be. I think we kicked this off around 2 years ago. We've been at, how long have we been at our new Crafty Chat location for? I want to say we've been at the cafe for at least a year. We were at Costa before that, so this is a group that I set up that meets every 2 Thursdays. 2 Thursdays a month. My mum done the ribbing and then passed it off to me to do the colour work. And she passed it off to me when we were still in Costa. The group's coming up for its 3-year meeting anniversary. And so we're somewhere between two and a half years that this hat has been requested. So I need to get this done fast, because she did ask me about it recently and I was just like, I found it. I found the hat. So there's that. Okay, pause and reach for the next one. Okay, so the next one, honestly, I might frog and cast back on again, just because of the nature of the pattern. I know I did not make any notes about where I put this down at. And I could count the rows, I might, but I also might just frog it and start again. And this is the Knit Pouch by Laura Nelkin. And if I had the paperwork, I'd show you what it's meant to look like. But basically it is a knitted pouch, a knitted bag, where the handles come up and they've got a button so you can hold it, and it's like a square. And it's really lovely. Excuse me. Just clearing my voice, my throat. So yeah, the knit pouch is really lovely. I hope I have enough yarn. This is just scraps that I found upstairs that were thick enough. And honestly, it's a bit of a mess because you use these, the pattern calls them scoobies. I don't know if that's right, but other people call them like yarn savers, because you put, it's a tube, like there is a hollowness to this, and you would put that on a thinner needle at least, and then you would move your stitches onto it or to use it to try on a garment. And yeah, it's a lot. Like when you're working on this, it can get quite confusing. I know I couldn't work on it and be watching something, that's for sure. And you don't have to do it this method. You could just pick up the stitches, but who likes picking up stitches? So this is the knit pouch, like I said, and I really want the finished object, so I'm gonna say this will get done. But technically, it might get frogged to then get redone at some point. So we'll decide on this one further down the road. Like I'll try and look at the pattern and see if I can figure out where I am. Hopefully there's maybe a stitch count per line, and that will make my life easier. But if there isn't, and it's just increased till you get to this many stitches, then I might start again, just so that I'm not getting too confused. Although I do have 2 stitch markers in, and then there's 4 picked up stitches after that. So maybe there's something in the pattern I can look for to be like, okay, why did I place stitch markers here? And if that's in the pattern, it will definitely make my life a wee bit easier. Next up, I have a lone sock. Pretty sure I made these in 2024, not 2025. If I did, it was the very start of 2025. These were meant to be for a friend. And they might still be, because with this yarn, this Perfect yarn, it does not give nearly enough length in the foot from my size. Yes, I could cut out the heel yarn because that's a long leg for me, but without cutting the yarn, I don't think I cut any of the yarn for this sock. So I did use some of the green in the cast on, and we're at the green, and I knit 2x2 ribbing all the way till the end of this colour. Then I done the leg till I got to the colour for the heel. Done the heel, I think I cut here. Honestly, I think I cut at the end of the gusset decreases. No, that's not the heel turn. And then I made the main colour onto the foot, like for the gusset decreases here. And then you can see, even on a much smaller foot size, that I was into the contrast colour before I got to the toe decreases. So I'm not a fan of the Perfect yarn for that reason, because it seems to have been made for small footed people, and I don't have small feet, so I don't like the yarn for that reason. So I think if I do a second sock, they will go to my friend, because she got tiny feet. Tiny feet. Okay, so are we counting? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 projects so far. We'll go with 8 here. And this is a scrappy moss stitch blanket that I'm doing when I've used pretty much the yarn in the Secret project, the Coziest Memories project. Is there any other projects? No. So if it's been in the Coziest Memories project, which is the first one, then if it's been in the Secret project, it then goes into this one. But again, as I've said, if I have quite a bit of solid colours, they'll probably go back into the Coziest Memories blanket, just so that I have enough yarn. So this will eventually go to my sister. Hopefully, we'll see. I might give up. It's a lot of work when you do like these scrappy type projects, and there's a lot of ends. If you're not a big fan of those, your scrappy projects are not going to be for you. And if you're like me, who I just tend to crochet over my yarn, like, you have to be okay with that, and your recipient has to be okay with that those ends might kind of peek out at some point. I think my sister would greatly appreciate a blanket. I'm just not sure if she'd appreciate a scrappy blanket, because it's not for everyone. A scrappy blanket or a scrappy project is not for everybody. But this feels so nice. It's so squishy because it's a 4-ply held double done on a 4mm crochet hook. Next up, we have the Radvent throw. I done this as a 2024 advent, and my friend Amy kindly sent me a wee advent she put together for me. And the only reason this is still a whip is because I just want to add more to it. It would be a good length for, say, a kid or like a baby blanket. I just want more. Now, this would be good for me as like a lap blanket if I'm sitting cross-legged on the couch. But as I age, I'm not able to sit cross-legged for very long. At least nowhere near as long as I used to be able to. So I would definitely like this to be long enough that it would cover my lap and then cover down to my feet. Now, right now, I would say it's covering my lap. I've got at least one square on my belly. 2 squares take it, well, one, oh my god, I'm making this more complicated than I need to. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 squares deep, okay? Because the width is wider to go round me, because I am larger. So 1 of the 4 squares is on my tummy. 2, the next 2 take it just past my knee. The last square takes it down to halfway past my shin. So I really only reckon I need 1 more row minimum. So I've got 6 more squares to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 6 more squares. And then I might consider this blanket finished. Might. It's such a lovely blanket, and I love knowing that my friend sent me these yarns, and if it wasn't for her, I really don't think this blanket would exist. Some of them are so fun. Look. Right, hang on. I'm so sorry if you can hear me swallowing. I know that's very off-putting for some people. Look at that one. How fun is that colour? And then, what's another one of my favourites? I really like that one. And I love this one. So yeah, if I'm sitting with it the way I have it right now, at least 1 more row. If I'm being very honest with myself, sometimes, and I'm sorry for what's about to happen to the microphone, sometimes I like having it here, and in which case I need 2 more rows. So I need 12 more squares. So like I say, minimum 6, maybe a maximum of 12, and this blanket could be considered done. And it folds up so small. See, because it's 4-ply, it folds up so small, which is lovely. Because some of my other blankets that I've made, bear in mind, they've been made for a king-size bed, are so chunky, so heavy, whereas, excuse me, whereas this is folded up. It's so petite, it's so light. And yes, I know that's before I add 6 or 12 more squares. But it's just, it's nice, it's compact, it's light, but yet it would be warm, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, let's break up the blanket, or the blankets. Oh, this is no longer a whip. I don't need to show that. I do, however, need to reuse those needles. Okay, you go over there. I'm just throwing things. What's in this one? Okay, this is the Musicale knit along by Stephen West, and I finished section 2. I just need to get this onto a scrap cable or scrap yarn. So we've got the first section here, these waves. You got some brioche in here, some eyelets in here, some welts here. And then you've got the waves. And then I don't like how the rest of the shawl's gone. I will be honest, I do not like how the rest of the shawl has gone. I will not stop this project. I won't just give up and leave it as like a UFO, because some of these yarns are very precious to me. The purple, the solid purple, was a yarn I got from New York when Scott and I went. Excuse me, 2 seconds. Sorry about that, I had to clear my throat. I'm blaming allergies. So yes, the purple is from Lola Bean Yarn Co., which I picked up when we were in New York. Very special yarn to me, very sentimental. I don't think we can get Lola Bean Yarn Co. here in the UK. And then also add to the fact that that New York trip was when Scott proposed, and then the world shut down and all that jazz. It's just a very special yarn to me. So that, and the fact that I have like a bazillion ends because of how this is constructed and designed. So I will finish it. It is not on my immediate make or immediate finish list, so you'll probably not see it for a while. It will get done. It will. Just maybe not for a couple of months. Okay, that won't get chucked. That's nice and soft. Next up, we have a crochet hook I've been looking for. Interesting. I just keep finding things. Next up, we have the Ultra cardigan by Skandir without colour work. Kind of wish I had put colour work on, because it would have made figuring out when I split for the sleeves a little bit easier. So this is a steeked cardigan. This is my first steeking project, and I am a little bit scared and hugely overwhelmed. But I'm nowhere near the point where I'd steek, so we're fine. Like I say, I don't even know when I meant to split for the sleeve, so we have a while to go on this cardigan. This is being knit in Rowan Tweed. I know it's definitely tweed. I just don't know if that's the yarn brand. I bought this yarn in Manchester in 2023. And I only cast it on last year. So we're using up yarn slowly but surely. I don't know if I'm in the middle of the round or not. Who cares? I reckon this will soften up so much in a couple of washes, or at least with a considerable amount of conditioner. I really hope that I'm not going to put all this work and effort and energy into this for it to not be suitable for my skin. But even if it's not, this is going to be a huge learning project for me, because again, you do steek, and if you're not sure what steeking is, you cut the yarn. So this is a cardigan. This is the front right here. You might see two distinct lines. That's a bit better. You can see two distinct lines where I've got some purl stitch, like a purl stitch, knit stitches, purl stitch, and then you secure the back. You can do it through a couple of methods. You can do the sewing method with your sewing machine, or you can do the crochet method, and I'm nowhere near doing that again, but eventually in between, like in this row of knit stitches right here between the two purls, I will cut the entire length of this jumper cardigan. And I'm kind of excited. Like, I know I said I'm scared, I'm very overwhelmed, but I am excited to learn a new skill. Like, steeking has been on my list for a while, but this is a 4-ply jumper. I am not a small human being. This is going to take a while, but it will get done. I know, like, I discussed the fact that I could be frogging things and we're not there yet. Might be the last one. Just the way I've put things on the sofa. Excuse me. It might honestly be the last project. Next up, another blanket. I love this blanket. This is a scrappy blanket. So it's, again, not for everyone. This is a blanket being made out of commercial sock yarn. So it has that specific feel to it. And that's a feel I love, believe it or not, even though if I try to make like a garment out of commercial sock yarn, I could not wear it on my back because of my skin. But there's something about a commercial sock yarn blanket that I love. And so you might think it would go that way, and it looks lovely that way. Right, stop wrapping around my arm. It looks lovely, but I'm going to go with horizontal. Yes, I had to go through horizontal and vertical in my head there. And I'm on my 5th column or 5th row, and I have so much commercial 4-ply sock yarn. So much. All scrappy. Some of them are a lot bigger quantities. Some of them are actually around 50 grams. And then some of them were 20 or 30 grams. And I'm just going to chug away at this. This is not going to be a quick project. This is definitely not a priority project. But it is a project that brings me a lot of joy. So it's also a very mindless one. All I have to think about is the joining. Like the joining of the 2 columns, and that's not very difficult at all. So I just love that project. It's always close to hand, basically, so that I can just work on it if, like, say I have an appointment, or I'm going to be in the car, or I have a meeting, like that kind of thing. I have this, but this didn't come into 2026 with me. So you'll just need to wait for the next podcast to see what this is. Okay, we're going to go with a shawl next. A crochet shawl. Ah, I've dropped a stitch. No. Okay, I need to fix that. I wonder. I think the hook I found is the hook that goes with this project. I'm just going to wedge that into the yarn. So I will put the link in the description box for this one because I, off the top of my head, do not remember what this is. I'm recording on my mobile and my iPad is upstairs. So this is going to be a huge and gorgeous shawl. When the time comes, we're already starting to transition with the yarn. So I'm using one of these big giant cakes of yarn. There is definitely cotton content in this. I just don't know if it's like 100% cotton. And I didn't realize until I'd already started that there's an easy pull tab for the center. But I started from the outside because I wanted the black to be at the top. I wanted the black to have quite a big section, or a bigger section than should I have finished with the black, where it probably would have just been a line by the time it got to that row. Because that would have been a big, like a long row. So it probably might not even have done the full length. So I wanted the black right at the top so that it was front and center. I don't even know if I'd call it black. It's grey. It's a very, very dark grey. But this is a lovely project to work on. It's just like a constant repeat. You just increase and increase and increase. So you can see that's one section right there, from this finger to this finger, and then the section starts all over again. So it's just repeat, repeat, repeat. So yeah, if you see, we start getting a wee bit of the mauve in, and then we get more mauve and less grey, more less grey and more kind of like a deep, like a wet sand colour. And then eventually we're going through to beige or cream. Creamy beige. We'll go with creamy beige. Right, I am going to quickly finish off my tea before it gets so cold. So I will be right back. Thank you for waiting, even if it's been seconds. Next up, again, I'm not really going to show off too much. This is my fundraiser project, and I'm not at the point where I'm ready to start the GoFundMe for this, because my gauge must be so different from the designer, because at this point they're saying I should be moving on to the last section. And this wouldn't even be a child-sized blanket if I went to the finish, like if I went to the last section. So I'm repeating another section, and I'm going to gauge how much more I need to do after, and like an extra repeat. And then from there, I'll decide when I want to do the GoFundMe. So this is going to be a project to raise money for the cancer centre up in Glasgow. That's where my friend went for her treatment, and unfortunately she did not win her battle with her cancer. And it's also to raise money for my, I call him my uncle, but he's not my uncle, he's my mum's uncle, who also did not win his fight with cancer. So I'm not ready to show this one off just yet. I'm not ready to start the GoFundMe because it might take me too long to then complete. Like, I'm not sure if you have to have a GoFundMe done within a certain amount of time. And so the blanket's just not at that point yet that I would be comfortable setting it up. Next one is technically got 3 parts to it, but the bag with the most recent progress is upstairs on my desk, and that is the Katona Sheepies, however you say that brand, the Battenberg blanket. So this is the minis. These are all my, I say finished squares. I'll show you a square. So that's what the square looks like. Oh, excuse me. Do apologise if you heard that. Probably did. I have a microphone on. And I think around Christmas time, because I couldn't really do anything, I wondered how I was going to join these together. And I put 4 together. And I don't know if I like the join. I don't know how to join these. I really, really don't. And I tried a couple of things, and then I just put it down. I really did. I was so scunnered. I had no idea how I wanted to do the join, and I didn't like what I had, so I put it down. And honestly, still don't know how I'm going to join it. I reckon though that with the number of minis, because that's too deep. With the number I have, because that's not all of them. I have more upstairs in the bag that I was saying. With the number, I reckon I'm going to end up having around 2 blankets worth of squares. So I don't know. I just chip away at them. I just make a square or 2, and then that's me. I'm happy. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 done here. And I reckon I've got like another 10 upstairs. So these are the ones done last year and before. All the ones upstairs are from this year onwards. Oh, this is going to be awkward to get down. Okay, we're on to the home stretch, and I've stopped counting. And I've piled up too many one on top of each other to actually do like a clean count. So when I stop to do notes and kind of prioritize some of them, I think I'll do a quick count. I know I have 10 blankets, and technically there's one upstairs that was a hand-me-down blanket from my mum, and I don't know if I'm going to continue it or not, just because her gauge and my gauge are so different. Next up, another blanket. Do I have any finished squares? Oh, these ones are finished technically. Let's see if I can get one off. So I'm making a bunch of little mini granny squares. The center, like all these have the orange on the outside, but the center are different colors. And basically I just picked, I have a whole other box up on my unit with the other yarn, and I just picked a bunch of yarn out of my acrylic stash and started casting on little squares. And then all I wanted to do was do like a 2 round granny square, one colour on the inside, one colour on the outside. And I'll put the lid back on before I tip this, so tip this to look at the back, otherwise I'm just going to get covered. So these are all the 1 round squares. You can see all the ends as well. Some of these look a bit cleaner. And then at the moment, I think I've finished all the ones for the orange, so I can put the orange away now. That's done. And then I'll move on to like a different colour, and I'll do all the second rounds with that colour, so on and so forth. And each time I do the second round, I have to weave in all the ends. I have way too many projects where I was like, oh, I'll just do it at the end. I detest weaving in a bunch of ends at the end of the project. I don't mind weaving in ends. It's part of the process, unfortunately, but it's not the worst thing in the world. What I really don't like is when I leave it to the last thing to do, because I, hand on heart, will not do it. I just won't. I don't know what it is. It's like demand avoidance for sure. So you see, ow, oh, there's something jaggy on that lid. Oh, that really hurt. One of the wee prongs inside is broken and it's very sharp. So you'll see here, this is my row. Not a single end. Go me. So yeah, when I get the second row done, I weave in all the ends, and then that's that done. And then I move on to the next square. It's not a case of I do all the orange and then weave in. No. I do one square, put the second round on that, weave in the ends, move on. Second round, weave in the ends, move on. Because if I don't, I won't. I know myself well enough that if I just leave the ends to last, the project will never be finished. Okay, this just all has yarn for the next one, and if you recognize these colors, you know what the next project is, and that is the gingerbread cal crochet blanket.
I have made slight, why is the lid not coming off? Slight progress on this one. So I've got my candy swirls. There's the green one. Got the candy swirls. I'm working currently on this section here. I think this is like week 3. And yes, I am aware there is meant to be lights on this. I am going to make them off the blanket and applique them on. But this one is so wonky size-wise. Like, my tension was super tight in this corner to corner section. Not this corner, it's not corner to corner. But in that section, my tension is super tight. And it's like pulled in. This is going to need steamed for sure when I get this section done. And then maybe when the whole blanket gets done. But yeah, I'm on week, I want to say, oh no, that says week 4. I'm on week 4. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Sorry, I had a thought that I might leave this out and work on this tonight. Because I think we're going to watch season 4 of Queer Eye tonight. So I might leave this out. Try and get the white rounds finished and then try and make the lights. Okay, last we have, sorry, I think I just smacked that lid off the microphone. Last one up, we have the Traveler's Shell. And I do not know what to do with this project. Having it out, giving it a squish, I'm like, oh, I forgot how nice this yarn was. I forgot how, like, if you have sensory things, like this sweater was a sensory purchase. This was the softest thing I'd ever felt. And it just made me, oh, I've made a mistake. Or, no, I changed yarn and it's just really tight. This yarn is a delight. This is the West Yorkshire Spinners Bo Peep. And it is 52% Falkland wool, 48% nylon. Where are these? Like, what's going on? So it's in this gorgeous grey colour. This is the Traveler's Shell. This is a 4-ply, very, very fine 4-ply. And this is meant to be a cardigan. I have the pattern. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry or Drea Renee Knits. I did not print it in colour, so like, there has to be a better picture than that first one. No, wow, okay. So this is what it looks like. Got huge deep pockets. It's really, really it's going to be a really oversized cardigan. This is the schematic. Sorry, I think I'm like huffing and puffing quite a bit and like sighing, and I'm realizing I have a microphone on. You're going to hear that. So this is the schematic. You can see the big pockets. You can see it's short sleeves, button band, like cuffs. And I'm really, really on the fence with this one. This was the project I really noticed my carpal tunnel was getting bad again. And there's a lot of pearls, a lot of purling on this project. There's equally the same amount of knitting, but there's a lot of purling. And that's a shame because I really, really want to do the Traveller hoodie if I spin the sweater's quantity worth for it. And so if I can't do the purling in this, I ain't going to be able to do the purling in that. And I'm like, oh, I've not even done that much. And then I'm like, yeah, I have. I've done a good amount. It just, it's all squished up. So I don't know. I really, really don't know. I want to see it through. I really gotta stop saying really. I want to see it through so that I don't feel like the project has defeated me. And I know that sounds so stupid. But I don't know if I'm actually going to wear it. I think maybe in summer I'd wear it. Like it's a neutral grey. But I don't know. Before I started this, I was convinced, but when I say this, I mean the podcast, the video. I was convinced that this was getting frogged. Absolutely and utterly convinced that I was going to be frogging this. Now that I have it out, I've felt the yarn, I see what progress I've done on it. So how much do I need to knit? Repeat rows 1 to 10 until the body of the cardigan measures approximately 11 inches from the cast on edge, ending with a row 5. The cardigan will go in length approximately 1 inch after blocking. So, I just happen to have a handy dandy tape measure right here. I think this will honestly help me decide. See, this is what I wanted to avoid. I wanted to avoid having situations like this where I'm basically talking to myself right now. Okay, so from the needle or the cable to the bottom of the ribbing, it's looking like I'm just past 5 inches. But this is a very difficult project to get a good, because I don't know if I'm meant to like, I know I'm not meant to stretch it out, but if I smooth it out just a little bit, I'm at 6 inches. Yeah, I'm at 6 inches. So I'm over halfway. Just over halfway. I wonder if by working on it and seeing if it still flares up the carpal tunnel, if that might be the deciding factor. Because honestly, I don't know what to do. Quite honest, don't know what to do. Right, I am going to stop the video and I'm going to start taking a couple of notes, write down each project and try and prioritize some of them. I reckon the hat will be the first one because that's not for me. Then I reckon the Radvent blanket, because I was getting one of those squares done a day. Like, albeit that was all my knitting time. But that's when I was back at full-time hours. I'm not quite back at full-time yet with my job. Yeah, I can do all this thinking off the video so you don't have to watch it. I'll be back in just a moment. Hello again. So I have found my notebook. Everything's a bit of a mess when you dig out all your whips. I have a rough note of the priority I want to do these in. So first of all, there's 18 projects. That's bad. That's a lot of projects. And I technically have a 19th that I started this year. So I got a lot to get through. Should not surprise me. I've got them all sat in front of me. It shouldn't surprise me, but there's something different from seeing them all, going through them all, and then actually writing them all down and numbering them. So anyway, first one on the top of the list is the Alaska hat. This is a hat my mum has been wanting for forever, and it's about time I give her the hat.
The next one I've put down as the Radvent throw because part of me just really wants to get that done and be able to thoroughly enjoy it. I've then put down the crochet shawl, which again, I will link all the projects that I can in the description box below, and I'll make sure to kind of just put in capital letters crochet shawl and then the actual name and the designer. I put the fourth one as the Ariana cardigan. I originally called it the Aria cardigan. It's not, it's the Ariana. That's the really colourful one. The crochet squares, but put, instead of being on a square, they're on the flip, on the diagonal, so it's more like a diamond. I've put that as number 4. 5 is the Musicale shawl. So I think I've kind of put them more in order of quickness and preference. And that really wasn't how I was meant to do this. I was meant to put it in order of quickness. But hey ho. So yep, 5 is the Musicale shawl, 6 is the Otra cardigan, 7 is the second sock. Now, I already want to change that around. I want to put the second sock as number 6 because that's going to be so much quicker. Okay. Alaska hat number 1. I agree. Radvent throw number 2. No. I'm going to put second sock as number 2. What would be the next quickest? Cross stitch would be number 3 for the next quickest. Knit pouch would be 4, just because of the size of it. I'm doing exactly what I didn't want to do and think this out whilst on camera with my head down. Okay, so we got to number 4. Ariana cardigan would be 5, I reckon. Musicale shawl would be 6. Crochet shawl would be 7. Fundraiser blanket would be 8. No. Gingerbread blanket would be 8, just because of quickness. 9 would be the Fundraiser blanket. 10 would be the Radvent throw. 11 would be the Otra cardigan. What have I got on the other side? 12 would be Traveller shell. Where are we? I reckon Battenberg blanket would be 13. 14 would be the Scrappy sock blanket. What was that, 14? I got 4 more. I got the Coziest Memories blanket, the Secret blanket, Haley's blanket, and the Small Squares crochet blanket. Honestly, I think they would be like a collective 15. There's no priority on them. There's no deadline on them, like on any of them. So I'd put them as a collective 15, even though there's 18 projects. So again, we've got Alaska hat as number 1 for my mum. Get that done, get that cast off. It's a hat, for Christ's sake, like it should not have taken me this long. Number 2 is the second sock for my friend. 3 is the cross stitch project. 4 is the knit pouch. 5 is the Ariana cardigan. 6 is the Musicale shawl. 7 is the crochet shawl. 8 is the gingerbread blanket. 9 is the Fundraiser blanket. 10 is the Radvent throw. 11 is the Otra cardigan. 12 is the Traveller shell, if I decide to finish it. 13 is the Battenberg blanket.
14 is the sock scrap blanket, and then collectively for the 15 it would be Coziest Memories blanket, Secret blanket, Haley's blanket, and the Small Squares blanket. Now, the only thing about that collective 15 is I have decided to put in effort into the Coziest Memories blanket every Monday. Now, I don't know if I should then make that a collective effort across the board. I could easily do one square on the Coziest Memories blanket. I could make one part of the Secret blanket, and I could put one scrappy ball of yarn into my sister's blanket, and I could easily put, call it 5 squares on the Small Squares blanket, like put a second round on 5. I'd maybe say 2 with ends. So maybe that could be like my new Monday thing. I don't know. I do not know. And this video is now coming up for 60 minutes. So let me know in the comments down below if you have thoughts, suggestions, always welcome, constructive feedback, and also how are you handling any projects you've brought into 2026 with you? Do you have a plan? Are you a mood crafter? Do you not do plans and you have to be in the mood for whichever project? Because I am definitely a mood project person, and I also have severe demand avoidance. So some of these, there's a reason they've not been worked on. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I know this isn't a typical video that I put out, although I did put a similar one out last year, I think. And I know there was a lot of thinking in this video. And I was trying so hard not to do like the think on video, because I know that can be really boring if it's just silence. So apologies for that. But I also think I didn't realise just how many projects I had. And I know that's crazy because I'd done a video towards the end of last year where I was trying to get my whips down. Technically I got a couple, but then my hands really got messed up. And it doesn't help that a lot of my projects are blankets. And I want more blankets. I want to start more blankets. I want to do massive yarn eating blankets. So I need to get stuff done before I can start those. But that has not stopped me having 3 new projects this year. I don't regret a single one of them. But yeah, I need to go tidy all this away now. I have made quite the mess in the living room whilst I was, excuse me, I'm all burpy. I've made quite the mess as I dug all these projects out. Some of them were over on one corner, some of them were on a bookcase, some of them were on a sofa, and I've made a mess. So I need to tidy up, and I think whilst I'm doing it, I'm going to organise the order of which they're put away, so that some of them are like at the bottom of the pile that I'm not going to touch for a while. Looking at you, Scrappy Sock Blank Project. Sock Blank? Scrappy Sock Project. But yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comments down below any thoughts you have, any suggestions you have. Do you think I should frog the Traveller shell? Should you think I should continue? How are you handling your whips as we start the new year? And also, just what are you up to? Hi. But yeah, thank you again for watching. Please do stay safe, and until the next video, talk to you later. Bye.